for pre-need, funerals, burials, or cremation. Since 1975, Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Graveside funeral service today for Edgar Maines of Childersburg. The visitation will be 11:30 until 12:40 at the Childersburg Chapel of Curtis and Son Funeral Home. Mr. Maines died on July the 18th. Graveside service to follow the visitation at Fayetteville Methodist Church, the cemetery there, and that'll be at 1 o'clock. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing that service. In other obituary news this morning, funeral service for Glenda Dunlap will be Monday, visitation 10 until 11 at Curtis and Son North, with a graveside service at 11 from Evergreen Cemetery. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. And funeral arrangements will be announced for Mr. Robert Ferguson. Mr. Ferguson passed away over the weekend. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, will direct that service. Homegoing celebration, remembering the life of Miss Mary E. Reeves, age 83, is Thursday at 11 a.m. from S.M. Goodson Funeral Home Chapel, with the Reverend Ronnie White officiating. There'll be a public viewing today, 2 until 7 at the funeral home. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home, Crematory, Talladega, directing. Barbara McDonald Hurst, age 68, died July the 19th. Funeral service at 11 o'clock Thursday at Erstry Funeral Home, with Dr. Catherine Bryan Lawrence officiating. Interment in the Pine Hill Memorial Park. Visitation for friends and extended family will be 9 until 11 o'clock prior to the service, also at Erstry Funeral Home. Erstry Funeral Home in Talladega in charge of the arrangements. Memorial service for Mr. Marcella Searcy, age 39, of Sylacauga, is today at Armours Memorial Chapel in Alexander City. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Armours Memorial Funeral Home. Memorial service for Mr. Gary Jennings will be 11 o'clock Saturday at Armours Memorial Chapel in Alexander City. Armours Memorial Funeral Home, directing. Mr. Willard Bubba Thornton, age 70, of Alexander City, died Saturday at his residence. Memorial message may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home in Alexander City in charge of the arrangements. And funeral service for Zerian Hampton will be 1 o'clock Saturday at Community Funeral Home Chapel in Sylacauga, with burial in the Green Hill Cemetery of Childersburg. Visitation will be Friday from 1 until 7 o'clock at the funeral home, Community Funeral Home in Sylacauga, in charge of the arrangements. This obituary report this morning brought to you by Curtis and Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. For pre-need, funerals, burials, or cremation since the mid-70s, it is Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.